we were just talking about controversy. That new infrastructure bill that looks like it's going to be passed has buried deep inside it a regulation that you'd have to, car manufacturers would have to put technology on their vehicle starting in 3 years that would make it so if somebody's driving while impaired, it knows. The car knows and will warn you and slow you down or not even let you start the engine. Even some could be equipped with the blow-and-go technology. And most people say that's an overreach.
It's going to be a lot of restaurants with cars parked in them until the next morning.
Yeah, an overreach. But I said, for safety, reach for safety. I'm for it. I'm for it for safety. And we had a call from somebody who had the blow and go. We were asking, well, how often would you have to blow in it? Like just before you started the car, or a few times? You know, let's say you go out to a few different bars. How many times do you have to blow on the thing? You've had some experience with it.
I've had one of those instruments. They call it interlock system, and you do have to blow in it to get it started and while you're in motion. I had stick shift, and I would have to stop at a light, so you don't actually have to stop. You have to blow into it while you're driving.
God, how do you do it? That seems like more dangerous than...
You have to master it. It takes some getting used to. And also, if you drink the night before, if you drink too much, it won't allow you to start your vehicle the next morning.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by that. Did you ever have that happen to you?
No, sir.
Good for you.
I would never try it. I would never try it. I was too anxious to get my license back.
Yeah.
How long did you have to have it on your vehicle before you got your license back?
1 year. You have to have it 1 year, and you have to get it serviced every other month. And they charge you a fee to have it serviced.
See, it seems to me that really does teach a lesson, because that's a 1 year of having to do all that crap, go through all that.
Yeah.
Now you learned your lesson.
Yes, sir. I sure did.
Kristen says it's my favorite thing.
You dropped it twice.
Did
you learn your lesson? You learned your lesson.
You know, I can judge you, and I can say, did you learn your lesson?
And you can still drink with your fellas because your car's ancient.
I don't.
You're never going to buy a new car.
I don't have
to put that in there.
I don't have to do that.
You can enforce everyone else.
Here's something.
Putting away your light beers with your fellas.
I can judge.
Drive home.
I can judge.
It's the best.
I can become the driver for everybody.
So I missed it. So how are these cars going to know? Are you going to have to blow in them?
Well, first it would have technology. The Mothers Against Drunk Driving says there's technology where if you put your hands on the wheel, the sensors can tell if you've had alcohol.
Boy,
and
that's
a lot. And then others are saying, well, you know how you have lane assist now? Well, if you veer too much, it knows if you're texting or have been drinking, and it will warn you and stop the car. And then they are saying that they're even talking about, in that bill, a little device where you would have to blow on it, just as he just said, before you started the car.
Yeah,
it is really big government. Now, that is overreach. And they are fighting that out in Congress right now.
And that would have, I don't know how they'd work that. That would be up to the states to...
Well...
to go with.
We had a caller that said, what if the legal limit in one state is different than the legal limit in the other? And Chris Demm pointed out, and he's right, that they're very similar.
They are.
And with GPS, you'd know where the car is. You'd know if you were illegal in Texas but not in Oklahoma. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
The times we live in.
I know it. But nobody wants to drive down the road with a plastic tube hanging out of their mouth like Peter Frampton.
I do.
You don't?
I do.
You can't put smoke in it.
I'd be the one person. That's what they said. I can't do that. A few years ago, I said that I loved the graphic commercials on television about cigarette smoking and graphic images on the packaging. Because they tried that in certain places where they would show you like a diseased lung on the package of cigarettes. Remember that? They tried that?
Sure. And if you watch a lot of TV like we have on here in the room, you'll see the people who have lost lungs, lost parts of their faces to cancer, and
the talking box.
Talk box.
I find those. See, I don't smoke, but they catch my attention. I'll just say that. When I'm watching TV and I see the person talking with the talk box, or here's what I looked like at age 25, and here I am in 50, and look at me now, that really catches my attention. The graphic warning labels on cigarette packs, they've done some research on that now, and found that for short term, people would say, ooh, I'm going to stop smoking, but it didn't last. It only lasted for like a couple of days, and then they're right back to it. So they say there's really no point in putting those. And I don't know that I've ever seen a pack of cigarettes with a lung. I know some countries.
I think it was different countries
England
in the U.S.
Did that. Yeah, England did that.
I never saw them here.
Where they would put labels with just horrible-looking things on them. And they said it did not work.
No, just the script.
It was not effective. By the way, this is about...
I would think, don't you think those are commercials on TV are effective to a kid, maybe? Not an adult.
I do.
Once you're gone, once you're 25, 30, you know what you're doing.
I don't know about that. I think they are effective, period. I think those are really eye-catching commercials.
They affect kids more, 18 and under. You don't want this.
Hopefully so. Maybe that's who they're marketed towards.
I think they are.
I think they do a nice job.
I think the percentage of I would think that the percentage of people that are affected by it that quit smoking is pretty infinitesimal.
You think because they're already hooked on.
I mean, they know where they're headed.
Well, what do you think does cause people to stop smoking most? If you've been smoking since you were 18 and now you're 35,
somebody close to them telling them, somebody that really cares about them that they really listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you just have to want to do it.
Of course, you have to go over to that.
Yeah.
There's Kathy Griffin we talked about yesterday. She has lung cancer and never smoked. She had to lose a large piece of her lung, even though she was never a smoker. And she was on with Nightline revealing what she had gone through. Apparently,
Nightline?
She was Nightline.
Whoa.
Who hosts that?
She was
I don't know.
there was a fill-in.
Strahan?
No, there was a fill-in host. Gigi, what's her last name? It's Gigi something. We see her sometimes on ABC.
Oh.
I like that
Not
name.
Juju.
Juju.
Oh, Juju.
Juju, whatever. I don't remember her last name. Anyway, she was hosting, and Kathy Griffin said, I had some problems with prescription painkillers a few years ago. So when she underwent lung surgery, she had terrible pain in her chest when she was out of the hospital, but she wouldn't take anything for it.
Oof.
She refused to take anything. She said, I'm more
You
afraid.
just wrote it out?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
She said she was more afraid of getting hooked back on painkillers than she is of the cancer.
Does that give you a slight erection knowing that she, quote, learned her lesson?
Big time. Big time.
It's a real thing.
Cancer seems unfair in this case.
Absolutely right.
But she learned her lesson about hard pills.
She had a real problem before the whole Trump mask, the bloody mask that she held up. But after that, it became way worse. And so she had to kick the habit. And so I knew a guy, and it wasn't even because he had any prescription pain. I think it was a budget thing for him. When he gets a cavity filled, no painkiller. He will not get the Novocaine. Ooh,
I don't get it.
Saves him money, and he says he can bear the pain. But boy, I could not.
Because of drugs?
Now, he didn't have a drug issue. He just didn't.
Because of money.
He did not want to pay for the Novocaine. And so he refused the Novocaine every time and got his teeth filled. He's had several cavities and had his teeth filled without any Novocaine. Because he says he can bear it, so why not?
I guess.
It's like a test for him.
But you never know till they get in there.
I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
This is entertainment news. Boy, yeah, really, how deep do you have to go?
They don't know till they get in there.
Looks like this is the word from Variety magazine and Variety website. Mike Richards is in advanced negotiations to become the permanent host of Jeopardy. He's the guy who's the producer of the show, who no one has ever heard of, who hosted for a week or 2 weeks and was very much he was liked. He was liked, yeah, by the audience.
My question after seeing the headline and seeing the text that you guys sent around yesterday is, he's the exec producer. These negotiations shouldn't take long.
That's what I say.
How much money do you want? Let me run around the desk. Well, I don't know, Mike. You're kind of green, runs back around the other side. But Alex loved me.
Takes himself to dinner.
He has hosted...
You play hardball, Richards. I like that.
He's hosted some game shows on the WB, Beauty and the Geek, and he joined The Price is Right in 2008 as an executive producer.
He's also exec producer on Wheel, too.
Exactly. And he did Let's Make a Deal. He's exec producer on Wheel.
He don't need it for the money.
He does not need to be on that side of the camera.
He has produced more than 4,000 hours of game shows, so really seems to know his stuff.
But this will change his life because he'll be the Jeopardy guy.
Oh, yeah.
You would imagine for 20 years.
How old is he?
I don't know, early 40s, I believe.
I'll tell you, the minute he popped up, because there wasn't any fanfare about him, I knew it.
You knew it.
That was the one.
You've said that the whole time.
Yeah, because to me, they made this whole big deal about having guest hosts, and then he just randomly popped up right after Jennings.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the guy. This is who they really want. Yeah. This is who it's going to be.
They never mentioned him ahead of time.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it's just, and he was great.
Mm-hmm.
He really was.
To me, he was my favorite.
Solid.
Absolutely. He knows the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think then they just had to go through with the rest of the guests. But I think before Alex died, they told him it was going to probably be him.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
You know, they do say in this Variety article, look, it's not a done deal. There are other people still in contention, but it does seem that he's now the definite front runner.
Well, and, Jennings from the start kept saying he didn't
really want it.
Yeah.
I know. So I think we've landed on this guy, and I'm happy about that. I'm fine with it.
I don't think. I think they don't want anybody in there bigger than the show.
Like an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they don't want anybody that overpowers the show. I think they want somebody. I mean, Alex was not that big of a name. I mean, he was a game show host.
Yeah.
But that was it. I mean, over the 30-some years, I mean, he really grew, became more of an icon. But he wasn't. You never saw him outside of Jeopardy.
The show built
much.
him up.
Yeah.
And those guest hosts, it was great because it kept eyes on Jeopardy, and I think it gave people a chance to see who they wanted to see. You wanted to see Aaron Rodgers, you wanted to see LeVar Burton. Okay, we've done it. Now it's time to get back to just being Jeopardy.
The champ now, by the way, has won over $300,000, and he is doing that through. He's done it through 2 guest hosts. He's about to have a 3rd if he keeps on winning. And he is there. He's like the 8th biggest winner all time.
Is he? I might start tuning. I've been watching Olympics, but I might tune in tonight.
He's over 300,000.
He started with Robin Roberts, then he went through LeVar Burton, and now Joe Buck is next. He's got this new guy that's on
The
now.
CNBC guy?
And now Joe Buck is next week. So he might be with the 4th host next week.
Strange creature, but he's smart.
The guy, who's the winner right now. And he did another thing. He did a James Holzhauer where he bet really big at a critical time. And apparently that's his MO as well. And this is about broadcasters.
Oh.
Good broadcaster, Mike Richards, probably going to get the Jeopardy job. I want to apologize as a broadcaster. Yesterday, I brought it to the masses to say, freeze some honey and eat your honey. It's the latest thing going viral on TikTok, and it's a terrific midday snack. Now, several are speaking out, saying if you eat frozen honey, you freeze it to like just a slur, and so you can chew it and then eat it.
I think you mean slurry.
Slurry.
Because does it freeze?
Not a
Honey
slur.
freezes?
I don't know.
It freezes to a block. You have to get it at the right time, so you get it as a slurry, and then you can chew it. And now several doctors are warning, get ready for massive diarrhea. Massive. Bloating, cramping, serious diarrhea if you're eating honey in the afternoon.
Eat yourself a sugar daddy instead.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah.
Says you are going to get so much.
A bit of honey.
There's so much fructose.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have more diarrhea than you can possibly imagine. So this broadcaster apologizes for leading you.
You think there's anyone listening right now who's on the Twitter? Like, too late. Oh, why did I listen to him and his honey goodness?
Oh, I love honey. I thought it would be better froze.
I should have known this was too much sugar.
I drank it straight from the bear's mouth.
Why don't I learn my lesson?
Why do I keep listening to him?
I apologize. A lot of influence here. This microphone.
Yeah.
The power.
Yeah.
The power.
Does it have, Kelly, you'd know, is it true that honey has a little botulism in it?
Yeah, that's another thing they're saying. A lot of diarrhea, a little taste of botulism. If you freeze it.
That's what I always heard.
It's a sign of botulism, yeah.
It never goes bad, and it has a little botulism
That's
because
right.
of the bee's saliva or
Just a
something.
taste of botulism. I've heard that, too. I have heard that same thing.
You know, when we were in Canada, we were there for New Year's a couple of years back, and going through Montreal, and they take, they have maple syrup everywhere. You can sample maple syrup. They have maple syrup everywhere. Well, they freeze that and put it on a stick like a lollipop.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. This is similar.
Yeah.
But
That's not made by bees.
they don't do it.
Made by trees.
Here's another broadcaster going bad. This is so interesting. It came up yesterday. We were talking about Tom Brennaman. There was a moment where a minor league baseball player was trying to talk about his uncle who had passed, and somebody home run right as he was doing the broadcast. And he's like, oh, man, I just had a Nick Siriannos moment because this guy hit a home run when Tom Brennaman was trying to apologize. This is last year. Tom Brennaman dropped a gay slur when he didn't know he was on the air.
Capitals of the world. Reds Live, the pregame show presented by Ray St. Clair.
Somebody had said, where's the next road trip? And say, we're playing the Giants. Oh, really? In the capital of the world.
You're on.
Reds Live.
Red Live. Well, later he apologized and a player hit a home run.
I made a comment earlier tonight that I guess went out over the air that I am deeply ashamed of. If I have hurt anyone out there, I can't tell you how much I say from the bottom of my heart. I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
Of course.
And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I want to apologize for the people who signed my paycheck for the Reds, for Fox Sports Ohio, for the people I work with, for anybody that I've offended here tonight.
All right. So that's Tom Brennaman.
He didn't finish that game, did he?
No, I think they got him off before the end of
an
the game.
inning later.
That's right. He was gone.
They just had to go find somebody.
Leave the headset.
His caddy finished.
I guess you won't need your ticket to the blank capital of the world.
Yeah. What is it?
Tom, we've got some good news.
You're not going.
The city you don't want to go to. Well, you're not.
You're not.
You're not going to California.
So that got us think, where is Tom Brennaman now? And it turns out he has been hired. As Chris Demm said yesterday, I think he's working again. He is working again.
Okay. He put the headset back on.
He has. He was hired recently here, just a couple of weeks ago, by a group called Chatterbox Sports. And they broadcast high school football and basketball in Cincinnati. So Tom Brennaman, who was doing NFL and Major League Baseball games for Fox National, is now going to go back to doing high school basketball and football games. And he said in the press conference, I'm thrilled.
Look, it wasn't just a mistake that I made a year ago that happened, and some people might know about, a lot of people might know about, nobody might know about. But, I think it's safe to say we all make multiple mistakes. I know I do every single day of the week. But I'm just so grateful and excited. I know what high school football and high school basketball and high school sports mean to this area. This is what I was doing at Channel 5 when my career started. So here we are coming full circle, getting back out to high school sports again. And I'm excited. Thank you.
We're glad to have you, and I really appreciate you jumping on.
And by the way, I think Castellanos just hit a home run to left field.
A little levity.
I don't know if I'd go back there. Would you have done that?
I don't think I would have.
I thought it was tacky. As soon as I heard it, I was like,
You blew it at the end.
I thought so too.
Brennaman, you're almost there.
I know, I thought so too.
He was running third.
Tacky.
And these guys don't travel to the West Coast.